Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighbor Jaxblade here, and I want to tell you the second part of Project Deku is now up. This is going to be almighty abs. It's going to help you get nice strong abs like your favorite characters. Mikasa, Korra, this is a unisex program. Goku, Saitama, Ippo, all of class 1A. Freaking All Might himself, and just your favorite characters with nice ripped strong stomachs, and this is just going to help you get a nice strong athletic look for the summertime. All you gotta do is click that link down below and follow the instructions. Booyah. Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood Jaxblade is back, and today I just wanted to do a thoughts video on Infinity War because I didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I absolutely just want to talk about this movie. And I know this is one of my videos that's probably not gonna get that many views. Like I'm gonna guesstimate like probably like 7,000 or 8,000 of you like max are gonna watch this, and that's completely fine. Okay, I just had to do a video of my thoughts on what I thought about it. Before going to see an Infinity War, one of the things I did was I actually rewatched like all the MCU movies before this film came out. So like I just went and rewatched all of them from Iron Man all the way up to Black Panther. And still it's kind of crazy that Black Panther is still in theaters. You can go like watch it back to back in some theaters. It's insane to me to think that. But yeah, just rewatching it, and I've noticed a lot of other people who've reviewed it have mentioned this as well. It started off so grounded with Iron Man. Like Iron Man could really, honestly, if you think about it, take place in like a futuristic setting. It's just tech based. It's just humans building machines going about it. So it's just like that is so grounded. But then you're like in space with all these raccoons and monsters and trees and space aliens and demons, and it's insanity. So I loved going through those and seeing like, oh, I love these ones, love these ones. There are certain ones that I had to bite my tongue to get through, like for instance Thor 2, Iron Man 3. Those are ones I just don't like Iron Man 3 I freaking hate and stuff like that. But it was worth it to get to this movie. So yeah, honestly, just seeing the buildup of Thanos each movie just made it like better and better. So just seeing him like, oh, what are we gonna do when we get to him? What are we gonna do when we get to him? And then Josh Brolin, you absolutely killed it as Thanos. My God, I just gotta give props to that. And I think for this video, I'll talk for the most part just what I like for those who haven't seen it, and then when I get to spoilers, I'll just put up a tag that says spoilers. So yeah, don't worry, you don't have to worry about it. So you can always come back to this if you haven't seen it, if you really want to know my thoughts. To me personally, I find MCU Thanos to be a much better villain than even Killmonger, and Killmonger was a great villain, but I find Thanos just to be on another level, which I'll go more in depth with the spoiler thing. Even though they mention it in the trailers, I don't want to give away his like main goals right now if you haven't seen the movie. But yeah, oh my God, I thought Thanos, just the way he was imposing, the way he just ragdolled Hulk like nothing, the way he just was killing people left and right, but there was no sense of like enjoyment from his killing. I mean, of course there were parts where yeah, he had some fun, but there were parts where he's just like, I'm doing this because I need to do this. I believe I'm balanced. It was just like a true psychopathic nature of someone who thinks they're generally good and they're doing the best for mankind. And it was so fascinating to watch. And there were times where I actually felt really empathetic towards Thanos, and I'm just like, oh my God, I did not think I would go into this. I thought he was just going to be like a maniacal, like that freaking dude from Justice League, not Darkseid wannabe, Steppenwolf. Yeah, Steppenwolf. I thought he was gonna do some stupid crap like that, but no, I should have trusted the Russo brothers from the get-go. They did a phenomenal job crafting this character, and Josh Brolin did a phenomenal job bringing Thanos to life as this imposing villain. I was just invested. Every time he was on scene, I was just like, I was scared, and I was also like intimidated. Like, what happened? Like, what's he gonna do next? Also, the crossovers between all these characters that have been built up, that is just, it's one of the coolest things to me when you have a crossover of a well-established thing and you like just have them come face to face with each other. I love seeing characters have crossovers. Like, I remember when I was a kid and I watched Spider-Man the 90s cartoon. And in Spider-Man the 90s cartoon, it was going on at the same time. Like in the 90s, they had all these Marvel properties. They had Iron Man, they had Fantastic Four, they had X-Men, of course, that was a big hitter, the Incredible Hulk. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it. But like they had all these shows back then, and sometimes they would have crossovers with each other, and it was like the hypest thing. Like when Spider-Man teamed up with the X-Men as a kid, that was like one of the hypest things ever. Or when freaking Iron Man and Spider-Man teamed up with Venom to fight Dormammu, freaking Doctor Strange's villain, and just like try to set them back. That was just a hype experience as a child. So seeing like taking that experience from childhood and bringing it to adulthood, that was just a whole nother level of just like, I am so happy. I'm just smiling so hard seeing these characters interact that I've always wanted to see interact with each other. And honestly, since Disney bought out Fox, I wouldn't mind if they did what they did with Black Panther, where they just introduce him in an early movie or something like that, and then give him his own spin-off movie. I mean, freaking MCU Studios, Kevin Feige knows what the hell he's doing. Like the majority of these movies, I would say like 90% of them have just hit it out the park, been great. Other ones have just been either mediocre, and some only like a handful I would say are just BS. But they have just done such a great job with building the series, taking their time, just all this. It's just one of those things that pays off so much. It's just a little thing of just building piece by piece, and it has built like just paid off so much. I feel so grateful that I've gone from being a 17-year-old kid watching Iron Man theater where no one knew who Iron Man was, because I remember when Iron Man first came out, no one knew really who he was. They were just like, who is this guy Iron Man? And like I was surprised, like only a few of me and my friends knew, because we watched the 90s cartoon, we read comics as a kid, but now he's like this mainstream name that everyone knows. So it's so fascinating to me that all these characters people didn't think much of, Captain America, Thor, like people, like everyone knew the Hulk, but no one really thought much of Thor, Captain America, or freaking Iron Man when they first came out, and now they're mainstream names. And so I absolutely thought that was just, I love seeing these characters grow. I just love character growth, and I love the fact that in this movie we didn't have to do a bunch of, oh well, these characters you don't know, but whatever. Especially Guardians of the Galaxy, like most of these characters, if you've ever watched Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is honestly the best Avengers cartoon, like way better than the Avengers Assemble crap, which they pretty much pulled the Ultimate Spider-Man to Spectacular Spider-Man, where they canceled Spectacular to let Ultimate in. They canceled Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes to make Avengers Assemble. It's just BS. Like if you ever watch that show, all those characters from that show, like that was released in 2010, have now become mainstream names like Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Luke Cage. All these characters introduced in that show are now mainstream, and I love the fact that we all know them and accept them. And seeing them all interact together live action in this movie was just incredible. Especially Guardians of the Galaxy, just seeing them play off of Thor and just like talk to him, and like the comedy was just perfectly timed. It wasn't anything where I felt like, oh, that was a bit awkward. To me, it was just perfectly timed. When they needed some joke, they needed to joke, and when it was dark, it was just morbidly dark. And there are some scenes I'm about to get into spoilers though, so I just want to say, if you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, I do highly suggest seeing at least 90% of the Marvel movies before going seeing this, because if you're just a person who just saw Black Panther and then you go and see this, or you're just gonna be confused. If you're a person who just seen like maybe 3 or 4 Marvel movies and then you see this, you're gonna be pretty confused. Like, I mean, if you saw Civil War or Thor Ragnarok, you could have some reaction, but I still think you need to see at least the bulk of the movies, like at least 90% of them, before you go to see this to fully enjoy it. But I'm not telling anyone can do what you want, especially if you're grown, to do what you want, have a good time in the movie theater, and just enjoy the film. But for right now, I'm about to get into spoilers of what I thought of this whole, like, Thanos. I, honest to God, I felt so empathetic and sympathetic to Thanos. I felt so empathetic to this character, because there are times where what he's doing is effed up, but it comes from a place of, when I was a kid, I suggested something to save my planet. So if I want to keep my place, like, we just kill half the population so we can save half the, people here. And then he said no, but then people died. So he started doing this, which is absolutely insane. I do not condone murdering innocent people, but when he started going to planets and then saying like, look, I killed half this planet, now look at what's happening. They're flourishing, they're having good, healthy lives and stuff like that. And it's just, there are times I I don't agree with it, but I'm like, I can see logically why you're doing this. Like, to me, this makes so much more sense than freaking Killmonger's Kill the Whites plan, because Killmonger was just like angry and I want to do this and do that, and I can get why he was angry, but Thanos is just like logical and what he's doing, and he generally thinks it, and I can buy more into what Thanos is doing than what Killmonger did. To me, I think Thanos is a better villain, and the fact that he was just like so intimidating and such a boss to just F up all the Avengers, like, I mean, Iron Man did make him bleed, but the fact that he was just like laying them all out. I love foes. I mentioned this before. I love villains who are either calm, composed, and intimidating and can F anyone up. Or I like villains who are just absolutely insane force of nature that you can't rhyme or reason with. But I don't like in between villains are like, okay, but if you can be killed easily by someone, I'm not really affected by you. Cerebral villains have their place, but like Thanos is just, I loved everything with his scenes in the movie. And then the scene with Gamora and he like broke those tears down, I actually felt for her. I was just like, oh my God. There were parts of this movie I was just like, should I be rooting for Thanos here or not? And oh my God, it was so intimidating to see him work, but it was just so fascinating as well. And I didn't know what to do. And then when there were some heroes, by the way, when he killed, I was just like, all right, yeah, well, not heroes, but all those people at the end of Thor Ragnarok, I felt so bad for. And Loki, I was just like, I knew he was gonna go. I honestly knew Loki was gonna get it bad. Like all the deaths in this movie, or deaths, should I say, because they pretty much, like, even with the comic books, there are some people I thought, like, die, like, right away. Like, when Thanos uses the reality gem, I thought he fucking killed Drax. I thought he killed Drax and Mantis when he used it, and, like, you saw Drax fall apart. I was like, oh my God, did he just kill Drax? Like, how is Guardians gonna work now? And then he was just like, no, it's a reality gem, I can do this. But then the introduction of reality gem and time gem is just like, okay, well, now you sort of, like, introduced a Dragon Ball method of just repairing everything. So at the end of Infinity War 2, or whatever it's going to be called, like they could literally just take the time gem and time stone and reality stone and stuff like that and just rewind time to back where it is, and then like have all the Avengers go like, you know, it's good to be back, it's good to have you back, and I'm just gonna go my separate way. I'm gonna go my separate way since all these actors, you know, contracts are up and stuff like that. So I feel that that's what's going to happen. All of the heroes are gonna come back. I don't think there's gonna be any permanent deaths. Maybe Loki will be permanent. I don't think Gamora is going to be permanent because they gotta, you know, bring her back for Guardians 3. In my opinion, I don't know if they could go on without her, but I don't think they would. Yeah, I honestly think like they're just gonna Dragon Ball the whole thing and they get to Infinity Wars 2, because the ending of this movie where everyone was just being evaporated, it's actually really, really fascinating that they like just killed off, when he was killing off half the universe, that he killed off just the new characters. Like we still have all the old OG Avengers from phase 1. It was like, oh, I killed off phase 2, phase 3. So that to me was absolutely badass. Come full circle. Like we're going back, it's come full circle. Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Captain America all have to go against Thanos, and that's just the main 4 Avengers that you got. So that's just gonna be absolutely badass to see happening. And then my boy Hawkeye's probably gonna come back. I don't know what he can do against, you know, this time god, but you know, he'll make it work. Freaking Black Widow's coming back. That'd be so fascinating if they got the Fantastic Four or the Defenders. Like hell, the Netflix series is in the MCU. So if they decided, you know what, for part 2 we're gonna go all the route, and then they make that iconic look with every Marvel character, that would be so fascinating. And hell, you know, I don't want them to do this, but at low-key sort of, it'd be interesting, since if you've seen the Deadpool 2 trailer, he freaking, you know, does a thing to this, like he makes a reference to this stuff. So it'd be so interesting if Deadpool can make an appearance in Infinity War 2. I know it would kind of take me out, but then it'd be like, I mean, Disney does own Fox, so they could do it, but yeah, I would love that. I would freaking love that, to be honest. I want to see just every Marvel hero in that, you know, iconic thing just like charge Thanos at once and charge his minions and do all that stuff. But yeah, that'd be awesome. Or, now hear me out, they could do what they did with, you know, Patton Oswalt's filibuster from Parks and Rec. They could take the final Star Wars movie and make it the final, like, the combination, the final Star Wars movie and the final Infinity Wars movie could be a dual thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch Patton Oswalt's filibuster. But yeah, that would be just so interesting to see if they did that. That would be fascinating. They would never do that, of course, but that just, it'd just be funny. The thing I really just want to say is just like, DC, I don't want you to think I'm gonna get coming at you like this, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, this Marvel took 10 years to build this property up to what it is, taking their time, they took it slowly whatsoever, and it's a shame because if Superman Returns was legitimately like loved as the Dark Knight, then this would have been a different, they could have started their things back to back and who knows what would have happened. Hell, we might have had a Justice League versus Avengers thing or something down the line if it was that marketable and good. But DC, I honestly feel like they should just start over. As soon as this series ends, just start over. Make a new Batman, make a new Superman, make just a legit, the Wonder Woman is all right, but it's just, oh my god. I mean, the comic books rebirth every 5 years or some shit like that. So it's just, DC, I just want you to be on par. Like, you have a freaking outlet to follow. You have a blueprint. All you got to do is literally just watch the anime series. You have Batman Taz, Superman Taz, Justice League, everything by Bruce Timm. If you just take that and make it live action, just following it, you could make a seriously great Justice League movie or Justice League franchise and series. It's just a shame that this is what you're doing right now. And I'm sorry that it feels like I'm coming at DC. Like, Jesus, you know, it's just, it's sad really, but I just gotta say, Marvel, you have this mastered. And again, like I said, that thing with Patton Oswalt, if they did something like that with Star Wars, that would be great. But this is a franchise I'm generally looking forward to concluding. And I was thinking about this the other day, like, honestly, those other movies that got planned, I mean, they may be interesting, but I'm not like, oh my god, I gotta go see it now because it's just, oh, I finished it. It's the same thing that happened with Defenders. Like, I wanted to watch Jessica Jones season 2, but it's just like, I heard they weren't gonna do an Defender season 2, so I'm just not really that interested in watching it. I'll watch it eventually, but I'm just not. But yeah, that's what I thought. What did y'all think of Infinity Wars? Go down below, leave your comments. I'm genuinely curious. I want to know how this, like, affected you. Like, did you like it? Did you hate it? I know some people didn't like that Thanos wasn't a nerd guy. And like, okay, first off, let me just say this about Thanos, because I didn't get a chance to say this. I am so happy they changed his motivation from, oh, I'm in love with death, I want to do this death. Because like, if someone's in love with someone and then like they get turned down on him for someone else and they want to go destroy the planet. I'm sorry, my phone just went off. Oh no, that's Zordon calling me. But it's just one of those things where I feel it takes away from the badass in me. The fact that he's legitimately psychotic and wants to do this, that takes better than him being some neck breed for doing it. Oh, death, love me, I want you to do it. And like, I said this when reading the comic books as a kid. It's not just me saying, oh, the MCU like fanboy or something like that. It's me looking at the comics as a kid and literally saying, you killed half the universe because you want to bone death. Get it, bone death. But yeah, it's just, I thought that was lazy. Whatever. I'm so happy they changed this thing, but if you disagree, by all means, we're all entitled to our own opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Remember, like I said, Almighty Abs is available. All you gotta do is click that link down below and get your copy today, and I hope you enjoy it. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, don't forget, moments high. Infinity War, finish off strong, alright? You did great. Now just land it. Land it.